Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Most people bundle their biggest fears into one big scary package of nerves, anxiety and inaction. But what if I told that there wasn't just one biggest fear, but lots of them? And that each of them can be broken down and solved with a little bit of practice. It is likely that fear is the number one thing holding you back from living your best possible life. Here is the 8 biggest fears that holds you back from living your best life. Fear of failure. The fear of failure is one of the most common biggest fear that hold people back from living their best life. In a world that puts successful people on a podium, there can be shame on those who fall short, or even worse, try in the first place. The fear of failure will hold you back from taking action and make you procrastinate. Secondly, fear of success. One of the lesser known but very common fears that might be holding you back is the fear of success. How can anyone fear success, you might ask? Well, success has its own set of problems and fears. Success can come out of nowhere and change everything when you aren't ready. Once you have success and get comfortable with it, it can vanish in an instant. People hold back not just because they are afraid of success, but because they are afraid of getting it and losing it. The solution is similar to that of the biggest fear of failure. You just have to live your own life and see what comes your way. Both success and failure are inevitable in any worthwhile endeavor, so relax and embrace both of them. Thirdly, fear of loss. Fear of loss is most likely one of the most prominent and powerful fears that is holding you back. The biggest fear of loss often stimulates negative emotions like anger that stop you from being the person you can be. Think of the last time you were angry and search for the fear behind it. What were you afraid of losing? What were you afraid would be taken from you? That's where the anger comes from. Think of an angry person, maybe someone you're afraid of. Can you see how frightened he or she is? In order to get over this fear, you have to confront the fear of losing things so that you can actually enjoy everything that you love. You have to leave your attachment behind so you can live with the joy of what you have. The fourth one is fear of being judged. This biggest fear is one that is known for keeping people in their shell, in their place and away from everything that they could achieve. 5. Fear of losing our identity. Your identity might be something that you cling on to as if it were one of your most prized possessions, often without even realizing it. As humans, we weave these stories in our heads about who we are, what we want, and what people like us do. These stories are easy to create, but very difficult to escape once set in stone. Abstract and mostly made-up concepts like careers and identities can often blend into one as a sort of compromise. The same is true in other situations. How could you ever just walk up to a pretty girl and start a conversation? You are the type of guy who is shy and keeps themselves to themselves. How could you ever take a day off when you are tired? You are a productivity machine that can never take a day off. Having an identity can be reassuring for a short while, but it doesn't take long for it shut every single door to change. If you are unhappy with where you are right now, it's likely that there is a part of your identity that you are fighting fiercely to protect. 6. Fear of losing control. The biggest fear of losing control is another big fear that holds many of us back from living our best life. Many people substitute improvement and happiness with control and comfort, and that is where you can go wrong. In order to be truly happy, truly free, and live the life that you want, you have to be willing to surrender control. 7. Fear of time. Fear of time is an entirely modern phenomenon that, according to psychology today, only originated around 10,000 years ago. It is the fear of not having enough time, whether you worry about not having enough hours in the day or worry about how fast life is going by. These are forms of something called time anxiety. 8. Fear of who you really are. According to a research paper on the subject, it is estimated that % of people will experience something that is known as imposter syndrome in their lives. This is the condition where you don't feel worthy or deserving of the success that you are receiving. One of the main reasons imposter syndrome is so prominent is because no one knows us better than ourselves. You know what your guilty pleasures are. You know what you secretly hate and secretly love. You know where you come short where others might think you excel, and you know where you are better than what others give you credit for. Although there are biggest fear that can arise in your own personal path to greatness, each of them can be solved in their own unique ways. Ironically, your biggest fear is not something to be feared. Fear is a natural part of life, and all fears have a source that can be discovered and overcome, one step at a time. If you enjoyed this tips, please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more life-changing tips and hit the icon bell to get notification of new content live. Thank you for watching. This is Darken Hub Channel.